to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. Had a few shows this last weekend. Well, really only two. I was supposed to have three, but one of them had a rain cancellation, which was a little bit of a bummer. But, you know, just rolling with the punches as usual. That's all you can do. So, I was supposed to play at the 12 Bar on Friday, rooftop bar. It doesn't really have an indoor space, so, you know, there's not really a whole lot they can do if it's gonna rain. So, and I got a few more there later in the summer. So, yeah, hopefully weather will hold for those, I guess, is what that's all I can really hope for. But it was a lot of fun the last time I played there, so I was kind of looking forward to it. And now that it's been pretty nice out, the outdoor shows are, you know, getting more fun and exciting to be pretty regularly outdoor. And I do feel like it's easier to sound good always outside, just because the sound's not so trapped. But ended up, what did we, I can't even remember what I ended up doing on Friday, but something that kept me up pretty late. And then I got about, I think it was like an hour of sleep before getting up the next day and making the trek to O'Fallon, which is near St. Louis, and that's called the Vine Street Market. So that's kind of like a farmer's market near St. Louis. So that one was a little bit rough, if I'm being honest. Like, I was not feeling 100%. Long drive, very foggy in the morning. I posted a video about, I couldn't believe, like, I don't know. I guess I'm not usually up at 4:30 or 5:30 driving, so that's probably has something to do with why I never see something like that. But it was pretty crazy. And then about a 3-hour-ish drive and running a little bit on fumes from the lack of sleep, and then, which is just my fault, I guess, because I cannot remember what we did in place of. Anyway, must not have been that fun, whatever I was doing that night. But so pretty tired. Got set up pretty fast. I got there a little earlier than I expected because farmers market was at 9. I got there at about 8 or 7:45ish, and plenty of time to set up. Kind of a light setup. They had 2 different musicians. I mean, the market's definitely getting a little bit bigger, and there was a lot of foot traffic, and it was pretty fun. I just didn't feel like in the pocket as much as I would like. So, what can you do? I still got, you know, a lot of people saying nice things and everything, but my standard of myself is high, and I did not quite make it that time. So then, you know, I'm like feeling a little beat down and a little rough, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to think about I don't know what the next one's really going to be like if barely getting through this first one. And I ended up running. So I was going to go straight to the show, but it was pretty humid and it was pretty sweaty. So I did have enough time to make a beeline home. The second show on Saturday was in Chillicothe. It was for an event, beer and beef, or no, bourbon and beef in Chillicothe. And so, you know, took a beeline home. Took me probably an extra 45 minutes to get there. You know, I would have been there sooner. But like I said, I needed a shower, and it kind of just worked out nicely. Got out of the farmer's market pretty quick. And so I was like, all right, I'll go do that. And by the time I got out the door, I ended up, and I was like, I want to say 45 minutes early for the show. And big event, kind of classy. It was like at a community center, which didn't really seem so classy. That's what the fundraiser was for, I think, was to raise money for the Pierce Community Center, if I recall correctly. And but the people there were all like dressed nice and fancy, and they were trying to raise money for a good cause and all that. And I just, like, I don't know, I slipped in the pocket for this performance, and I wasn't really expecting it because of the first one, and I ended up and felt really, really solid. and it just felt good to play and, be able to hit the right notes and everything. I don't know. It was indoor, so I guess maybe that's breaking my theory as far as sounding good outdoor. But I'm going to blame the first one on just being kind of tired and out of it. But, other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot else on I guess with the beef and the bourbon, I got some really fancy steaks, so that was exciting. Everybody there was very generous. I actually got like 3 people that hit me up after for shows. Of course, a lot of it late notice, so I can't really do it, but one of them I think I might be able to pull off, which is cool. But just getting the name in the Chillicothe area is cool. I've wanted to do that, so new spot is always good to have. And so that's pretty much it. I was supposed to have a show this coming week on the afternoon, and that one fell through. I just hadn't talked to, it was like a private party, hadn't talked to the guy since he booked it, and then he had forgotten when I hit him up earlier this week, so they had a scheduling conflict and weren't really planning on it, so a little bit of a bummer, but that happens. And then so I have 2 shows which booked very poorly. Davenport, Iowa on Friday night. 2-hour drive, 3-hour set, 2-hour drive home, starts at 10. That puts me home at about 4 a.m. And then it's kind of the same deal for the Lafayette, Indiana, the next week, or the next night rather. So I don't know. It's just gonna be a lot of driving. It's like 2 hour, maybe a little more on the Lafayette, but shows like 9:30 to 12:30, so be almost the same deal. So by Sunday I'll be pretty worn out, but I have 2 days to recover this week. I do think I am going back to Pontiac on Sunday, but other than that, it should be pretty laid back weekend. I think starting in June, I pretty much have 3 shows minimum every week, which is cool. A lot of Sunday shows. I think I had every Sunday filled. I have a show on every Sunday of all of June, all the way back to really the 28th. So starting the 28th of this month, I'm going to be pretty busy. It looks like that first week in June, if you include that Sunday show, which is the 28th, or no, it's the second one. So it'd be, I have 5 shows in that second week of June. So that's going to be pretty crazy. But got to keep them full. I just got that crazy tax bill and definitely a huge car repair. So unfortunately, with the way things work, I need a car more than a lot of things. So I have to really work on having the money for the extra stuff. That's what I would call kind of extra. But anyhow, I wish I had more. I wish I had more to talk about. But just I started working on a scratch track on one of my tunes, Bold and the Best. I've been talking about it a little bit, but the official track I'm kind of starting to work towards, at least in that realm. Digital Soul, June 23rd. It's Friday, I believe. But I think that's pretty much it. I feel like I must have done something cooler last week at some point, but the WGLT article came out that I had an interview for 2 weeks ago, so I thought they turned out pretty decent. Nice of them to include me, but I don't know. I got this new camera, this camera over here. I've been trying to figure out how to use it right, but having a tough time. Not the most expensive camera, kind of my other cameras, they're Zooms. They both quit working, so I've had those for a long time, and I think this one's an upgrade from one of them and maybe a downgrade from the other ones. But it says 4K, but I don't think it's real 4K. But I only have one app that I can use to edit 4K, so it's hard to even see if it's true. But trying to figure it out, so you might get some weird shots on this camera over here, but what can you do? I gotta figure it out. I shot a couple videos with it too, so I'll be posting those. Just trying to figure it out pretty much, but trying to get some content out of that. Mine some content out of it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if I got anything else cool coming up besides a ton of shows. June's looking pretty staggering. Looks like I'm pretty much well down to one date in July. Have a couple Sundays open still, but August is pretty full too, so still need to keep at the booking. It's something that is always in the back of my head, and I do this pretty much every summer, because when summer really kicks in, it's like twice as busy because I have, twice as many shows, and I usually get kind of scared in the January, February area, so I'm sending out booking requests like constantly, and then I start to fill up in the summertime, and then I let booking take a little bit more of a backseat, and then I run into this problem around, you get to about September and you start looking at the end of your year and you're like, I still have a lot of dates open. I need to get some of these filled, and then you start panicking again. Just a perpetual cycle, but I've been telling myself, I'm gonna do it every day. I'm gonna send out some more booking requests, and I have a couple here and there that, that either just fall on my lap, like the Chillicothe show where people are hitting me up after, and then I have a couple that I've played at, like Door 4 and Decatur, and some places like Davenport where it's like I play there pretty regularly, so I can usually hit them up and they're pretty good about getting back to me pretty quick and everything. But it's just as scary sometimes. Just as scary. I don't know how else to say it. You're just so worried all the time. What if I don't have enough money to keep these lights on? It's nuts. But it's exciting, but it could end poorly. Chasing the dream, I guess. But I got food, I got some cool guitars, so there's always that, I guess, if nothing else. But alright. Well, sorry this is a shorter one. I wish I was had more to say, or it was more interesting this week, but I just feel kind of blah. I don't know why. Just kind of out of it. Felt like that kind of a lot lately. Just kind of haven't been totally neglecting things, but it's like barely making it. Just very close to forgetting things a few times. Whether that be with lessons or show stuff, or trying to be more on top of it. But I guess the first step, right, is acknowledgement, knowing it's a problem, trying to fix it. But anyhow, all right, well, thanks for anybody who spent any time listening to this one. Again, sorry it's not super exciting. I'm excited to test out this camera though, see what if it looks nice having the double or not, but we'll see. Anyway, all right, thanks for listening. Have a good rest of your day, your week. I'll see you next time. Bye.